high up individual at PETA, the very well-known animal rights organization, apparently got into it with Pete Davidson over his recent adoption of a dog. There's this email that Pete Davidson left for him that was colorful in its language, I guess we'll say. You can see a picture here of Pete Davidson with the Cavapoo puppy that he bought at a New York City store. Apparently he bought it for his mother, whose dog Henry had just died. He named the puppy Rodney Dangerfield, which I think is kind of funny. I don't know why he did that, but it's funny. But anyway, he was apparently criticized quite a bit for this decision, as he decided to call up and leave a voicemail for PETA's senior VP of cruelty investigations. And here is what he said. "Thank you so much for making comments publicly that I didn't adopt a dog." He noted that he's severely allergic to dogs and that he had to get a specific breed for that reason. He also said that no research appears to have been done as to why he decided to buy a dog, including the fact that his mother's dog had just died. He urged her to, quote, "do your research before you bleep create news stories for people because you're a boring, tired bleep." He wrapped up his message by saying, "Bleep you and suck my bleep." Okay, so even with the bleeps, that's a lot. And yeah, look, I probably wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have left that voicemail, but I also don't generate the sort of news that Pete Davidson did, so maybe he's onto something. That said, I understand why he might be sensitive to this. So he needs a specific sort of dog. He was rushing to get a dog because his mother's dog had just died. The dog and his sister, I guess, were devastated by that. So he decides to buy a dog, which he can do, it's legal. And he gets criticized both for the photos that came out as a result of him, because people just follow him everywhere he goes and takes photos. But then to be criticized individually by PETA, yeah, that is a lot. I don't know. Look, I do think that you should generally adopt dogs. My dog is a rescue, but I don't rule out the possibility of getting a purebred dog not through adoption. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I'm with you. I'm definitely on Pete's side here. Generally, the level of fame where you're like, you generate a scandal by buying your mom a puppy, like it's got to get old. And I know people are like, well, look, he plays into it. He doesn't have to keep dating all these starlets and ingenues or whatever. but like, still, man, it's gotta. I don't know. I mean, I can't even imagine. I feel like it would drive me crazy too. Also, PETA can be pretty annoying in my experience. And like, I know the argument. First of all, I'm a cat person, just so everybody knows. I make no apologies for that, by the way. I know it's like, it's not cool to be a cat. Well, I mean, the internet likes cats, but dog people really don't like it when they find out you're a cat person. That's neither here nor there.
I like dogs, but I think cats are cool too.
So I appreciate that. Thank you. See, that's how it should be. It should be diplomatic on both sides. But sometimes dog people, man, they find out you're a cat person, you might as well be wearing a Michael Vick jersey, dude. They're like, this guy hates dogs. I was like, I didn't say that. I said I like cats. Anyway, so I don't have a dog. And I get you're supposed to adopt one or rescue one or whatever. But like these puppies in the store, they've already been born. Like, they just supposed to be thrown in the trash. Like, somebody needs to raise them. It might as well be Pete's mom. And I know it's like, if people keep getting them from puppy mills, then puppy mills will keep making them. I get that. But I'm saying it's not the end of the world. His mama was sad. Her dog died. Let her have a puppy. Who cares? Another part of it also is for me is I'm from a rural southern town, and dogs did not have this kind of cachet there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's wild to me the way that people, like when I was a kid, you needed a new dog. Getting a new dog consisted of just driving around until you saw a box of dogs in a parking lot somewhere.
That's totally true.
So and then now you got a new dog, which I guess that counted as rescuing them. Anyway, I don't know. It's just all pretty silly to me, and I feel bad for Pete Davidson sometimes.
Yeah, I think that the following people around taking pictures is so weird. Like, and I don't like, just leave him alone. I understand he's in movies or whatever, but like, it also seems like for him, there's always been an outsized level of paparazzi interest beyond the stuff he's doing, which has got to be frustrating. Like, it's not like he's The Rock or something. Right. Why is he followed everywhere he goes? But he is. And look, again, I'll say, I think you should generally rescue a dog. And even if you need a hypoallergenic dog, as he says he does, look, PETA points out that you can search on Pet Finder by breed, and you can do that. That's true. Those are my dogs right there. That dog right there, Hilo, is in this room. I rescued him and I got lucky. It's a very good rescue dog. That said, You know what people do on sites like Pet Finder? They lie about the breed of the dog. That's what they do. So that can be frustrating. That said, look, I support bills that work to stop puppy mills and all of that. But as long as they are legal, you're allowed to buy them. And the thing about this is too, I understand that PETA wants to get people to move in the right direction. First of all, they say there's no such thing as a hypoallergenic dog, which they're not technically wrong about that, but they also know what people mean when they say that. There are dogs that trigger less allergies than others, so don't get pedantic about that. But the bigger issue is, can we not constantly pretend that the only way that there's gonna be social progress or progress on literally everything is through individual consumer decisions? Individual consumer decisions are important, but structural matters are way more important. And putting all of the onus on individuals just sort of absolves the system of any need for change.
Yes, I'm so glad you said. I hadn't thought about this issue through that lens, but it's that reminds me of going back to climate change and all that stuff. People should recycle and all that type of thing, but I've always found it so annoying that it's framed as if you don't recycle, everyone's going to die, and it's people have to recycle, people have to drive Priuses, people have to do that, people have to walk to work, all this stuff. Not saying any of those things are bad to do, but all that, like you said, it just absolves, the corporations that keep pumping everything into the air, dumping it in the rivers and whatever else, meanwhile they're gutting the EPA or whatever while telling people to keep recycling. It's just, the putting the onus on individual people is annoying because it, continues to let the powers that be run rampant, which is, sort of par for the course around here.
100%. Yeah, so I'm mostly gonna side with Pete Davidson, mainly so that maybe we could be friends or something. No, I'm kidding. And also, if you're from PETA, don't get down on me. I love animals, man. I love animals. Animals are innocent. That doesn't mean that you're automatically right all the time.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.